All right, welcome back to KTN Prime. Let's get to class. The Education Ministry will take the lion's share in the budget announced by the National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u in his statement he announced in Parliament today. Now, the ministry will take home 656 billion shillings, translating into 27.6% of total government expenditure. In the budget, the government proposes 13.4 billion allocation to transition 46,000 junior secondary intern teachers to permanent and pensionable job. This follows a month-long strike by JSS teachers who are demanding better working conditions. Besides being employed on permanent and pensionable basis, they were demanding job security and better conditions.
The over 46,000 junior secondary school intern teachers can now breathe easy in the quest for permanent employment after the government set aside 13.4 billion for their employment.
Kenya shillings 5 billion for the examinations fee waiver. In addition, Mr. Speaker, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shillings 13.4 billion for the conversion of 46,000 junior secondary school interns to permanent and pensionable terms.
The allocation towards the employment of the intern teachers comes after months of a standoff, a strike, and even a pending court case between the JSS teachers and the Teacher Service Commission. The education sector is set to receive a substantial 656 billion, which is 27.6% of the total expenditure. This includes 142.2 billion for basic education, 12.8 billion for higher education, and 30.7 billion each for technical vocation training and junior secondary capitation. Additionally, 1.3 billion is allocated for training on the competence-based curriculum.
I have proposed a total allocation of 656.6 billion, or 27.6% of total expenditures to the education sector. Mr. Speaker, other proposed allocations to the education sector include Kenya shillings 1.1 billion for the research, science and technology innovation. Mr. Speaker, the government is implementing the new funding model for public universities and TVET institutions through the provision of government scholarships and loans apportioned according to students' need. The new funding framework seeks to offer students whose households are at the bottom of the pyramid equal opportunity in accessing university education as well as technical training. Towards this end, Mr. Speaker, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shillings 35.9 billion to the Higher Education Roads Boards for provision of loans to university and TVET students. Kenya shillings 16.9 billion for the scholarship for university students, and Kenya shillings 7.7 billion capitation and scholarship for TVET students.
These allocations demonstrate a significant investment across levels of education, from basic to vocational and higher learning. This marks a 28 billion increase from the previous budget that saw the sector scoop 628 billion. And Musungu, KTN News, Nairobi.
All right, and to get into a lesson, since we're just from class, we want to enter into a different lesson, and this touches on matters budget.